Hello and welcome to the Top Bins Premier League preview show. This week we're going to be previewing all of the action from game week 5 this weekend, and we're also going to take a look back at some of our predictions from the last preview show for game week 4. So Dave, let's start off with where we were at with game week 4 predictions. There was some surprises in there, mate, and they caught us a bit unaware with some of those, especially Spurs. Spurs caught us. We both went for an upset with United and Burnley, so we kind of slipped up there. And Everton as well. Everton, we predicted them to win comfortably, and they drew. So let's have a look. Where were we at for the week?
Well, you've gone from the penthouse to the outhouse,
mate. I had a
because
shocker.
You have not had a good week this week. So I'm keeping up my 50% here. So 50% of the games right
Dave.
again.
Yeah.
50% Dave could be the new hashtag. You've gone from a stunning, what was it, 8
I went
last
from
week
8 to 4 this
to
week.
4. So I'm loving that for the overall.
Shit.
But yeah, you can see there we've picked a few teams that we thought would do better, a few other teams that we thought would struggle, and it was an odd weekend.
So we both picked Liverpool. We both thought that Liverpool would win the early kick-off, and it was hard to look beyond Liverpool. And we were both close. We were both there and thereabouts. Got another one where between the two of us, we almost picked the exact result. You went 2-0 Liverpool.
Should have had the exact result.
Yeah, you went 2-1, but I went 3-1. So, I mean, we're kind of there or thereabouts. Nothing really too controversial there. It always felt like it was going to be a comfortable Liverpool win, and that's what it was.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, in the next game, until there was a brain explosion, we were sitting there for a long period thinking we'd both get Fulham.
I was looking at that. I was thinking exact scores coming in because they were 2-0 up, comfortable. We both had 2-0 Fulham. I was thinking, lovely jubbly, job done. And then 112-year-old Glenn Murray gets given a chance, and then he gets given a penalty.
Comes flying in.
We love you, Glenn Murray.
We do.
Love you, mate. Love your work. So yeah, 2-2. Didn't pick that one. Didn't pick that one at all. Not
at all. Honestly, I didn't at all think that Fulham would let that go, and full credit to Brighton for coming back.
Now this one, I'm a little bit disappointed. I thought this was going to be one of those picks where I go a little bit left field and look like an absolute genius because I've gone for a kind of a left field pick with a result. I thought Bournemouth might get a point at least out of Chelsea. They went to the Bridge last season there, got a result against them, beat them at the Bridge last season. Didn't quite do it. Didn't get out of the first gear this time, did they?
No, and I mean, even I picked Bournemouth to do better than they did.
Yeah.
And yeah, they were disappointing.
Yeah, they were. All right, you picked them. You picked Chelsea, so you got 3-1. You got one there, and I went for 2-2 with Chelsea. So that's one up on me there, Dave. We got Crystal Palace against Southampton. We both went for Palace, but Southampton did the business, mate. They turned it on, and look, to be fair, we didn't know at the time. And I'm not trying to make excuses for us, but we didn't know at the time of the prediction that Wilf Zaha was going to be out injured. So right. I think that would have made a big difference in my predictions. I think I mentioned that this was a game that Zaha was going to thrive in. I still think that if he played, he would have thrived in it. But without Zaha, they just lack any attacking threat, Palace. So I think I might have called it differently, and I think you might have as well.
I would have called draw, to be fair.
Yeah.
I still wouldn't have picked Southampton to win it. So full credit, Danny Ings doing the business.
Did it. We both went for a comfortable Everton win. And it was
more comfortable than others. 4-0.
4-0. I went big, and I was wrong. I was very, very wrong. Huddersfield, well done to you. You got a point at Goodison. Very good point. But not one we could see, Dave.
No, and we talked about it in the review show. Huddersfield finally stood up and were counted. Yeah. And I think this at the end of the season, it's these kind of performances, they're going to need more of them.
They will.
But that's what's going to keep them up if they stay up, because that was a big point.
Now, we all know that West Ham stink of it. That's why both me and Dave predicted that Wolves would go there and do the business. And it was close in terms of they nearly didn't get the business done because they left it late to score. But quality performance from Wolves, terrible performance from West Ham, and Wolves on 1-0. I went 2-1, you went 3-0 to Wolves, 1-0.
The only shocker here was that you picked the goal from the
stinkers. I know. I thought Arnautovic might get something, but
yeah, and I mean, he does look likely, I'll give you that. Yeah. But I mean, looking back at it now, 3-0, I'm thinking, I was being quite generous to Wolves. No disrespect, but they dominated this game, and they could have very easily scored a couple, and they did leave it late, but job done.
City Newcastle, I went 3-0, you went 4-0 on the prediction, so we both got the winner right. Scoreline, couldn't quite predict that. I mean, it could have been anything, really. City could have scored a lot more than they did. They won 2-1 in the end, but they could have won 6 or 7-1 in the end. I mean, they had so many chances and they just didn't bury them. Not really surprised by the outcome, maybe by the result, the scoreline a little bit.
The scoreline surprised me a lot.
Yeah.
And one of the things, again, that surprised me is that Newcastle was scoring goals.
Yes, yeah.
And no, sassing to Newcastle here. I mean, good on them for scoring the goals, but with 20% possession, scoring a goal, that would have been the furthest thing from their minds. So they actually do it against a great City team. Good on them.
That's right. Yeah, fair play. Arsenal, again, we both thought this was going to be a fairly low scoring affair. I went for 1-0 to the Arsenal, and you went for 2-0. And it ended up being a really high scoring game. So it was 3-2. Cardiff put Arsenal's rubbish defence to the test. Put Peter Cech under the test, under the thumb. And fair play to Cardiff, they gave it a good crack, and they nearly come away with something.
They did, and I mean, I certainly didn't think Arsenal could score 3.
Yeah.
But more so, I didn't think Cardiff would score 2.
Yeah.
So
did you keep Aubameyang in?
I did keep Aubameyang
well done,
in,
mate. Yeah,
and he
so
finally scored. But I tell you what, that bromance, it's all about them both playing.
Mate.
I think
Lacazette's got to be there.
Both got to be there for them to do well.
Yeah. All right. I went United. I went for a draw. I thought we were going to do another roast in Mourinho and Jose. We mentioned it in the review show. You're safe. Well done, mate. You got the win. We both went for a 1-1 draw, and it was 2-0 United.
It was, and they deserved it. They didn't look fantastic.
They didn't set the world alight.
They looked good enough for 2-0.
Yep.
And look, the only thing for as a United fan you've got to sit there and wonder is, did the break now hurt us going into next week? Because we've finally found a little bit of rhythm. While it wasn't the most fluid game, at least they got a win and a clean sheet. Yeah,
and then finally the game that I don't think anyone really predicted, the unbeaten, the only other unbeaten team other than Liverpool in the league, Watford. Oh, and Chelsea, sorry.
Yeah.
Watford did the business. 2-1 against Spurs. I went for a 3-2. You went for a 2-1.
I never would have picked this. I mean, no disrespect to Watford. You're having a great start to your season.
Unbelievable.
But the way Spurs played in that second half, in particular at Old Trafford, I just didn't give Watford a chance. But holy cow, you've really got to start taking these guys seriously.
They were excellent. Well done, Watford. You played very well, looked very good going forward. Troy Deeney causing all sorts of problems. Holebas putting in the quality. Decent performance from you at Watford, and long may it continue. I like to see the underdog doing well. So,
and Elton John was loving it.
It's a crocodile rock, as he'd like to say, mate. All right, so let's go to game week 5. We've got the big one kicking us off early doors. Spurs and Liverpool. Spurs are going to be they're going to be reeling a bit from that result against Watford. Liverpool weren't quite in at their fluid best against Leicester. No, they haven't quite got out of that third gear. What do you reckon?
Well, it'll be interesting. I wanted this to be 2 unbeaten teams.
Yeah.
I was really looking forward to that. Obviously, I think a loss will light a fire under Spurs. That said, Dele Alli, I read today, potentially not going to play for England. Could be a risk for this game.
Yeah.
So that's going to be very interesting. But we're going to Wembley. We're not going to a new White Hart Lane, which again, very disappointing. Sort it out, Daniel Levy. If you're not going to buy players, at least build the stadium on time.
We know you've got loads of money.
Oh, god damn it! But oh man, I'm gonna throw the neck out on this one. And look, last season the loss against Spurs at Spurs, it did, but it also kick-started our entire season.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go through that again.
Yeah.
And I don't think the players will want to go there again and have that happen. And a lot of the players are the same guys.
Yeah.
For me, this is going to be really tight. There's going to be goals in it.
Yeah.
First thought might have been a 2-2, but I'm going to go 2-1 Liverpool.
Yeah. All right. I think that this, again, I agree with you, Dave. It's going to be a tight game. I think there's going to be goals. There's going to be lots of quality. I think Liverpool, the difference between Liverpool this season and last season, and why I think Liverpool are going to win this game is ultimately what I'm trying to say, is that defensively you look a lot more solid, you look a lot more capable of being able to handle the threats that Tottenham have got. I think that going forward, not quite click, but got plenty enough to cause that Tottenham backline problems. I do think there's going to be goals for both teams. I think it's going to be 3-1 Liverpool.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah. All right. So now we're going to move on to Bournemouth. Bournemouth, a bit of a rubbish result against Chelsea. A bit of a kind of non-performance against Chelsea. Coming up against Leicester, who have looked decent in patches this season, and also a bit shabby in patches this season. So two teams who have been a bit hit and miss here. It's a tough one to call, this one, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, for me, those exactly that. They've both looked good in patches. They've both looked average in patches. We've just had a break. It feels like a draw for me. 1-1 is where I'm going on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually go with a Bournemouth win on this one. I think Bournemouth at home are very good. I think they've got lots of good attacking threats and pace that are going to cause Leicester problems. And I think we saw with Liverpool, even though they weren't firing that well, like attacking wise, I think pace caused Leicester problems at the back. And I think that will be the case again with King and with Wilson. That they'll cause them some trouble. I do think it will be a close game. I think it'll be 2-1 Bournemouth. 2-1
Bournemouth? Yeah, and we know you love a home team.
I do love a home team.
A little Fraser's got a wee engine on him, doesn't he, for a wee fella?
Mate, he's quick, he's nimble, he's got decent end product. I think they've got enough there to cause problems. It's just whether they can keep Leicester out. And I think Leicester without Vardy still... Oh no, actually Vardy's back. I think this
he
game,
might be
because
back
he
this
served the Carabao Cup game. That was one of his games as a suspension. So he's back. So potentially Leicester will get joy through Vardy, but I still think 2-1 Bournemouth.
Yeah, fair call.
All right, over to the bridge. Another home game for Chelsea against Cardiff. What do we see?
We see goals. We see them coming for Chelsea. Yeah. Look, I think Cardiff did very well at home against Arsenal, but I think to take that on the road and play that well at Stamford Bridge, it's just not going to happen.
No.
I don't even think they'll score. I just don't think they'll set themselves up the same way they did against Arsenal to score goals.
Yep.
And look, Chelsea have been doing it in threes, and 3-0 feels pretty good to me.
3-0 feels like the right kind of result, I think, with Hazard and Alonso firing. Yeah, Morata's not quite doing the business at the moment, but they've got plenty of other threats with Willian and Pedro and Morata and Hazard as well, like I mentioned before.
Oh, and Giroud, don't forget Giroud.
Oh, Olivier.
He did score a peach.
Lovely goal. Keeper should have saved it, but lovely goal.
Yeah.
I can't see anything but a Chelsea win in this one. Again, I agree. I don't think Cardiff are going to score. So I think it's... I'm going to go 2-0 just for a little bit of differential from you, mate. I'm going to go 2-0, but I can only see Chelsea 3 points.
This one's going to be really interesting. Huddersfield hosting Crystal Palace.
Huddersfield on the up, Palace on the down.
Yep. I don't know the status of Zaha, and that definitely impacted
That's pretty
last
much
week.
the biggest deciding factor in this game.
It really is, because, I mean, if Benteke is leading the line by himself, I'd almost say...
Good luck.
The problem is, Huddersfield aren't exactly firing off a heap of chances, are they? They're not getting a great deal of shots, and you're talking about one of the in-form Premier League keepers in Hennessy as well. So I think even if Crystal Palace play poorly, it's still going to take a lot to get one through Hennessy.
Yep.
It's going to be interesting.
I can see this being a very close game. I hope that Huddersfield play like they did against, for their sakes, play like they did against Everton, and play with a high press, play with intensity. They're at home. They look to take advantage at set pieces and try and nick a goal and kind of work hard to hold their lead. But honestly, I can probably see this ending up in a draw. I think it's got a draw written all over it this game. I'm going to go 1-1. I'm on the borderline of 0-0 or 1-1. I'm going to go 1-1. I think there's capabilities for both teams to nick something from set pieces in this game. So
while I agree, I think I actually think 0-0.
Yeah,
I think enough. The better of the chances could even end up going Huddersfield's way at home.
Yeah,
Hennessy will just be too good. And question marks. Zaha's going to be the difference. If he's there, could very well be a Crystal Palace win. But honestly, I just see 0-0. The way they're playing, I don't see much in this.
All right, interesting game. City against Fulham. Very interesting. What do you reckon, Dave?
This is a tough one to pick.
It's a tough one.
I think Fulham are capable of doing what Wolves did.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Similar kind of team as well. The way they play, The way Jokanovic sets them up is very similar. They're very much a footballing team. They love to get the ball on the deck. They love to play. They love to press. They've got lots of pace. They've got outlets. They've got quality players. There could be an upset here.
Mitrovic is scoring for fun. I mean, yeah, admittedly, he's trying to catch the ball as well, but in the right box, he's doing all the right things. Yeah. And look, City are not going to go through every game and not concede goals. They've conceded goals already. They'll concede more. Mitrovic could easily be part of that. I don't know. I don't think that this is going to be a rout by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think this is going to be like the Huddersfield game. No. I think Fulham will go there. Like you say, they're well managed. I still think that City will walk away with it, but I'm 3-1 is where I'm going.
I think there's goals in this game for sure. I think Fulham have looked a little bit shabby at the back, and City will probably take full advantage of that. City are a top quality team still, and I can't see beyond them for the win, especially at home. So I reckon there's going to be goals in this. I'm going to go 4-2 to City.
4-2, 2 for Mitrovic, is it?
I hope so. 2 for Mitrovic, 2 for Aguero, and a couple for Mendy. I'll be happy.
Oh, mercy.
Yeah. All right. Newcastle, Arsenal.
This is weirdly really interesting for me. Yeah. Because this is about what Rafa does after. He can't do what he did against Chelsea and City again. He just can't, and not at home.
Not with a team like Arsenal who are there for the taking.
Exactly.
At the back. They've got to go for it. If they can go for it and get out that back four, they're going to get joy. They just need to be a bit braver than they've been.
I think this is the game where they potentially do that. I think this is where they break the shackles a little bit and say, right, this is a top 6 team that we can go out and we can take it home. Yeah. And they took teams at home last season, and they could easily, they could let 3 in, but they could score 4 against Arsenal because of the way that Arsenal are at the back. I mean, you're putting pressure on Petr Cech every time the ball goes near him. You might get a mistake. You might get some joy from that. I think it'll be close. I see 1 goal in it. I'm gonna just throw some picks out here because I'm sick of being 50% Dave. Yeah. I'm gonna live by the sword or die by the sword.
Go on, Dave, do it.
Newcastle 2-1.
Oh, big call from Davey there. All right, I think that Newcastle should go for it. I don't think they will go for it. I think that Arsenal are terrible at the back, and they may make Rondon look like Ronaldo. So I do think there will be goals in this game, just because both teams are pretty poor at the back. And even though Newcastle won't, I don't think, go all out for it. I think they will get chances, just simply through the fact that Arsenal are poor at the back. They've not got enough protection there. Czech's a mess. I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal. Ooh. I still think they've got enough going forward. And probably they're probably going to go with Aubameyang and Lacazette after the last game against Cardiff, and do the same against Newcastle. I can see them getting the 3 points, and I think it'll be 2-1.
Yep, I think that's a fair call. And look, if Lacazette and Aubameyang play together and they can keep this partnership going, 2-1 Arsenal sounds pretty good. But I don't know. I just feel like Rafa's got a few cards to play.
Well, you're going for it, Dave, and I admire that. It's a bold pick. Get yourself down the bookies. Put a bit of money on Dave's picks.
I don't know about that one.
And let us know how much you won next week. All right, Watford United. Dave, can there be an upset here? Can United win?
Boy.
Can I do it?
Just to prove that we don't rehearse. That really, I was not expecting that. Look, Watford are playing really well. Yeah, really well.
And they're confident, and confidence is big.
And they're at home. Yeah. And United have finally sort of come to the table with a pretty good performance, not a great performance. Yeah. Watford are coming off a great performance. They haven't lost as many players to international duty. Yeah. They've stayed together. They'll be working hard. There's still so many off-field problems at United that it's just like a ticking time bomb with all this talk and all this rubbish, and Pogba's just, he's playing the media like a fiddle. Yeah. There's so much going on. It just feels hard to sit there and go, United will do a United.
It's going to be an interesting game, this one, though. It's going to be very interesting. I can see there's lots of little battles and talking points and things that could happen here. I think United, again, not really tested by Burnley, because Burnley aren't really an attacking threat, and I think United could get caught out defensively against a lineup of Deeney and Gray and Hughes and Decore, who are all feeling it at the moment. They're all confidence running through their veins and scoring goals and beating teams like Tottenham. So I'm going to go with the Watford win in this game.
Watford
Dave.
win.
Yeah, I'm going for 3-1 Watford.
See, I'm going to go 2-2.
Yeah.
While I think Watford are playing very well, I think there's got to be a speed bump somewhere.
Yeah.
At home to United feels like a time when a speed bump could happen. United have got a lot of fire and a lot of... It's how they harness all this crap that's going on, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like they could do enough to come out, at least draw the game.
Fair enough.
And I think... I just want a quick shout out. Daryl Yanmat. I mean, who's this guy at the moment? Like, he's like almost playing an Alonso
he
style
is up
game.
and down that right channel and looking absolutely beastly. Quality product he's putting into the box.
And that's the key, is that he's played in the Premier League for a while,
Yeah.
and that end product's been pretty average.
At Newcastle, it was shocking.
He was terrible.
Yeah.
But the crosses have been pinpoint. They've been, he's whipping them, low crosses, high crosses. He's really mixing it up, and he's doing well. I think he'll get some joy against. I mean, we don't know if Shaw's going to play because obviously he's taken another bang to the head, and I 2-2.
2-2. All right, so Jose, we're predicting another tough week for you, fella. So
it's less about you and more about Watford.
Yeah, that's right. All right, Wolves and Burnley. I can't see anything other than the Wolves winning this one. I think Burnley have looked lethargic this season, and they're not scoring goals, which is really worrying for them. And Wolves are full of confidence again, doing really well. Got a result last week against West Ham. Got a result the week before against City with a draw. I can see Wolves pulling this one off. I can see them winning comfortably. I reckon that Wolves are going to win this one 2-0.
Is there a team in the Premier League that wanted the international break more than Burnley?
No, I don't think so, mate. I think they need something. Dyche needs to get in there, get them feeling confident again. Get Wood feeling confident because they're really struggling up top.
Dyche does need to get Wood. I agree completely. But I think
I got a thumbnail for you, Dave.
I couldn't think of a better time for Burnley to have this break. They needed this break because they are tired and they're 4 games into a Premier League season. They look like they're 24 games in. Yeah. They needed this. That said, I just can't see them coming out of this. I think Wolves are building. They're getting better every week. Yeah, they left it late, but they still dominated the game last week. I think at home
they're going to do it, aren't they?
Yeah, and I to the point where I don't think they'll let any in. I think they'll score 2.
Fair enough. 2-0 to the Wolves. Both went for it. Good shout. All right, Everton West Ham. Don't even need to talk about it, do we? We're just call the score and move on. Yep. Everton going to win. West Ham are rubbish. They stink of it. They're all over the shop. They can't defend to save their lives. They can't keep the ball for more than 3 passes. They're a broken team right now. They're a broken team. Their fans are all over the shop. As a club, they're in absolute state, Dave. And the question is how much Everton's going to win by.
All they've got at the moment that works for them is like Tony Pulising up to Arnautovic, right? That's it. That's all they've got. Everton, we were critical of how they played at home last week. They didn't play well. I think Marco Silva will be pretty riled up about that, and there is absolutely no chance that he's going to let his boys lose to West Ham at home. So, it's not about who's going to win. We're both going to agree Everton's going to win, surely. It's about how many. I think the problem... I'm not sure about Walcott being back. I'm not sure about just the way that they played without Richarlison. Like we're saying, there's not a lot of guys there that are going to bang goals in, but I still think they're good for 2. 2-0.
I'm going to go 3-1 Everton. I think they've got goals in their midfield in particular. I think West Ham are shoddy at the back and shoddy at set pieces in particular. And I think players like Keane might get a bit of joy from set pieces as well. I always think that West Ham have got a chance at scoring because I do rate on Arnautovic. I think he's a good player. And they've got Felipe Anderson who's decent as well. But they're going to lose. And then the pressure's really going to be on Pellegrini after that 5th game in a row that he's lost. There's going to be big questions asked. He's going to have lots of pressure. He's probably going to get a vote of confidence from the board. And he's going to have a couple of games left and he's going to be gone. That's my prediction beyond the week. Beyond this game week, but I think 3-1 Everton.
And look, Pickford's not been the wall, has he? I mean, he was great at the World Cup. He was great last season, but he hasn't quite found that yet. And you could be right. Arnautovic could. I mean, Route 1 football does work. Tony Pulis has had a job in football for a long time. Big Sam, exactly. And I think, yeah, you could be right, but I still think they're good enough to. We're never going to argue about a winner, are we? I mean, are we ever going to? This is a good one. Comments, if you will.
Yeah.
Will West Ham ever be picked for a win by us this season? Comment down below.
I mean, are they even going to win a game this season? That's the question, mate. Can they do what Derby, worse than Derby County did in that Premier League season where they got a total of how many? 9 points. Is it 9 points? Are West Ham going to do that this season? With the money they've spent, it would be an absolute embarrassment for them if they did that. But right now, I can honestly see that happening. I can't see where they're going to pick up points. Even at a team like Cardiff away, I can't see them picking up points. So I think they're going to struggle badly. And yeah, look, West Ham fans, I'm really sorry. You get it every week. But T-shirts coming soon. West Ham stink of it. Get them now. And they'll be cheaper than they are at the end of the season. So
that's right. The first run, it's not going to be limited edition. I think we're going to have to make a few runs.
That's right. All right, last game of the weekend, Dave. Southampton and Brighton. Danny Ings looking like he's caught a bit of fire. Brighton, Glenn Murray. He'll probably get a pass out of the retirement home to come and play.
That's right.
So
that's right.
What do you reckon for this one?
Well, it's actually a tough one to pick.
It is.
Brighton have been playing well, and that comeback was a great comeback. And yeah, okay, Fulham let them back in to a certain extent, but the desire from Brighton to get back into the game was already there. They just got the luck. They built and earned the luck that they got.
Yeah.
Southampton, look, I'll be honest, I really picked them to not do too well at the start of the season.
They're doing well, though.
I didn't think Old Sparky would get them firing.
No, but they've kicked into.
They have.
Yeah.
And Ings, not just for the goals, but for the movement. And that's one thing I always noted at Liverpool is his off-the-ball movement. He draws defenders. He creates openings for other players.
Yeah.
I still think in the midfield, they're short of someone that just owns that midfield.
Correct. I agree,
dominates it.
Yeah.
That said, they're getting enough out of their fullbacks. They're getting enough out of the wider players to bring these strikers in. And yeah, it's a tough one. St Mary's, Brighton are going to have to travel. Still, they've had a break. I'm going to fence sit on this one, and I'm going to go 1-1 draw.
You know what? I was thinking exactly the same thing, Dave. I think we've picked a few this week that are quite kind of in the same area in terms of where we're picking, but I think both teams are fairly evenly matched. And Chrissy Hughton's no mug. He gets his team set up really well, organised. They defend well. They're solid as a unit. They're compact. They press. I think Southampton have got lots of good players, and they've got Ryan Bertrand on the left wing, and they've got Austin and Ings, who I think have got goals in them. So I do think this is going to be a close game. I think 1-1 is a fair shout as well, mate. So I'm going to go 1-1 as well.
Nice. Well, we are getting close in our overall picks. It's been certainly exact scores. This guy's an absolute legend. But we are getting closer and closer, and I'm pulling it back. Newcastle is probably going to be the stupidest pick I've made all season.
All the best. All the best. It'll be one or the other.
We'll go with stupidest, but hell, I'm hanging my hat on it this week, and let's see how we go.
Brilliant. All right. If you've enjoyed this, give us a like, and don't forget to hit subscribe as well. Share this with all your footy-loving mates, and don't forget to check us out on Facebook. It's facebook.com/TopBinsFantasy. Thank you very much for joining us at our Premier League preview. We'll see you next week.